Log into gyroscopeme.com, the hottest online radio station in the world. GS Radio all day, all night, worldwide. Powered by Gyroscope Media Group, LLC.
GS Radio, the best internet radio station worldwide. Providing the best in music and talk shows. Go to www.gsradionj.com and check out the best internet station in the world. You're listening to GS Radio, internet radio station powered by GMG LLC.
In the beginning there was Jack, and Jack had a groove. And after a while, a deep sleep fell upon him, and he went looking for a new groove. He began looking for a new nation, and it had to be a soulful nation. And he found it, and it was Soulful House Nation. And he saw a building. It was a tall building. It had 10 stories. And he entered the building and got on the elevator and pushed the 10th floor, but it stopped on the 8th floor. And that's where he found his new groove. And he began to jack and jack and jack and jack. And he knew that this was it. It was Soulful House Nation on the 8th floor. Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, I am DJ Dan, Soulful House Nation. I'm coming to you live from the 8th floor. I am the unusual suspect. Ladies and gentlemen, we got another one. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is going to be a little bit different from many of the other shows we've done. And you're going to see why in a little bit. We got some special guests out of the Paterson, strictly from Paterson House Music Deejays. We're going to have some conversations. So before we do that, let's do this. Let me give you a quick overview. The last show we did was just prior to the holiday. We had Susan Etheridge. And when you get a minute, go back and check that out. She's out of the Boston area. She comes down here to DJ. She's a dope Soulful House DJ. Plus she runs a light show and she's producing. She's a lot of talent. So check that out. Then we're going to play the #1 song according to Track Source in the Soulful House category. We're going to play a little snippet because you know Facebook has this nasty little habit of shutting us down and muting us out. Then after that, we're gonna talk a little bit about we're gonna talk about the weekend and talk about some stuff that is coming. Then we're gonna play our song of the week, and then, ladies and gentlemen, what we've all been waiting for, especially me, is the part of the show where we bring our special guests in there. Now, just so you know, you can find us on YouTube, Vimeo, Twitch, X, of course, Facebook, and the website for starters. And then, too, once it's done, it's going to be all over those places, but it also will be as a podcast on Spotify and some other places. So let's do this. Let's play the number one song corner track source this week. Of course, as you know, I just always like to do this on every show. I just want to give a big shout out, a big thank you to Chuck Roberts, for our intro drop, and also King T Finesse and Ariel Shante for our theme song. So the number one song according to Track Source this week is by Groove Assassin. It's Lou Casablanca and Angela Johnson, Groove Culture. It's called Gimme Your Love. So Chuck, give me the track. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to fade it out because Facebook has this nasty little habit. And, of course, we don't want them to do that. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, hey, listen. So, listen, what a weekend. What a weekend. Unfortunate, I wouldn't say unfortunately, the world doesn't need more than one of me. So I couldn't attend all the events and be in all the same places all the same time. But I will tell you, there was a lot of activity going on this weekend. And Union, there was activity. Also, too, I saw a post that said that Rawway, the old school thing, is being rescheduled for on the 14th. Hey, this weekend I went to Weequahic Park House Music Festival. That's an annual thing, and boy, was it good. Oh my goodness. On that stage, I mean, when I got there, it was kind of a little later today, that things to do, but I know DJ Fu played, Soulful Messiah played, DJ Dat Girl Curly played. When I got there, Lady Alma was doing her thing. Oh, please. I'm telling you, listen, let me tell you what. Like, she has this knack, at least many times when I've seen her outside, and she does Let It Rain. That was like a tremendous hit. And it's still a classic. It's still, you put that on, people come to the dance floor. And it rained. Now, I will tell you, the other thing that happens with her is when, even though it does rain, the rain seems to go away. And that's what it did. But she had a great performance, and we were super excited to see her and connect with her. In addition to that, on the DJ side, additional DJs, they had DJ T-Wise did some things with, and actually he worked with Lady Alma. Then you also had DJ Beloved, Jihad Muhammad, and Steve Silk Hurley out of Chicago. For those of you who don't know who Steve Silk Hurley is, he's the gentleman, he was like in the beginning, like where people will argue that house music started in Chicago, and he's the one who did Jack Your Body and just a whole host of other stuff, and he's still making music, and still has things popping. So that happened there. Then Sunday, yesterday, give a big shout out to DJ Antonio. DJ Antonio has this thing he's doing at the rooftop in Paterson. Beautiful place, beautiful place. Great music, great sound system, video wall, the whole thing. I mean, first class. give a big shout out to DJ Antonio. Then a couple other things that are coming on September 16th next week. I have Butch Buchanan. Now, for those of you who don't know, Butch Buchanan is a dope DJ. A lot of times he is like in the back, but if you see Jihad and them doing the sound, he's one of the people that is helping him with that setup. So just be aware, we have him coming. And now I'm also going to add another point of distinction for Butch Buchanan. So when I set up the fan page, Soulful House Nation, he was the first ever person to post on the page. And when that happened, I said, okay, I'm on to something. So we have him coming in next week. Thank you, Butch. Okay, a couple other things. Okay, on the 28th, we're going to be in the park playing DJing in Paterson, doing a house music thing with Sharif Bug. And the whole purpose of that is it's house music, but with a purpose, and that's going to be we're going to be doing something, and he's trying to drive voter registration. So, of course, voter registration is super important. It's very important that you give your opinion about what's happening. If you don't vote, then really, I don't know. Well, put it this way. You still have a right to your opinion, but you will have no impact other than just having a right to your opinion. So register to vote and vote. We have a tentative date on September 29th, but I'm not going to say anything until I know for sure. November, I know I just got this in a little while ago. They're doing the brokers reunion. They do that an annual thing. It's going to be November 8th. And this year, the location has changed. It's going to be in the Crown Plaza. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a nice. I'm sorry, not there. It's going to be somewhere else. But anyway, it's going to be, that's going to be November 8th, and that's House the Runway. They'll be doing that. They got a great lineup for music, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Chalk, let's play that old school song for a minute, and then let's get to the business at hand. So, Chalk, play that song, that old school song from Jaden's called Plastic Dreams. As usual, we only play a little snippet. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Dan, Soulful House Nation, coming to you live from the 8th floor. So listen, I did have it right. It's going to be at the Crown Plaza, November 8th. So it's going to be a little bit different flow. We're going to bring this thing to another location. So listen, ladies and gentlemen. I have this expert panel from Paterson. I got to tell you, I'm super excited about this for a lot of reasons. Number one, first of all, it's going to give you a chance who didn't know that Paterson is popping when it comes to house music. I mean, you see us over at the events, but maybe some of you didn't know that, hey, we're doing it right here in Paterson. So what I've done here is I've assembled some of the house music DJs from Paterson. And what we want to do, first of all, I want to do a couple things. Number one, get you introduced and get you, and for those of you who don't know, but the second thing we want to do, we want to talk about this event that happened in Paterson. It was a really, really a great event, and get perspective on it. So, with that said, let's start with ladies first. Joy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Joy, can you introduce yourself and... where's it go? Remind me to introduce myself. I'm sorry. All right, got carried away for a minute. I guess maybe I should have been a rapper. What am I doing here? Anyway. All right. So Joy, just, introduce yourself and let us know who you are.
I'm Joy Oliver, born and raised in Paterson, and musician, DJ. I wear many hats. But, we'll stop there.
Not today, though. I don't see it. No, anyway. All right. Antonio, introduce yourself. Yeah? Okay. All right. You might have the mute button on. Okay. And the answer is... There we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. So listen, why don't we do this? We'll come back to Antonio. Did you get it yet or no? Can you hear me? Put it down. Go like this if you can hear me. Go like this if you can hear me. Okay, you can't hear me. All right. Hey. Okay. All right. I see he's got his better half with him. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're going to work on that. In the meantime, Tab, introduce yourself. Tell us a little about you.
Well, DJ Tab, born and raised in Paterson.
Mm-hmm.
DJing since 1981.
Okay.
Various forms of music, but most recently, for the past 6-7 years or so, been doing house music pretty much exclusively.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
DJ, producer, remixer.
Okay. All right. Well, this is exciting. All right, so we're going to get Antonio on in a minute. So as you know, I just want to start out by saying, let me get a little bit more here, a little bit introductions while we get Antonio mic'd up. Just tell us, how'd you get started with the whole music and house music thing? Put it that way. Mm-hmm. Tab?
Who's that for, Dan?
Yeah, Tab.
Me? I got started with music because Mom is my biggest musical influence.
Got you.
She's formally trained pianist, organist, lover of music, collector of albums, collector of 45s. So she attempted to teach me the piano and organ, and my fingers just don't work that way.
Okay.
So when hip hop came along and I caught the hip hop bug and the DJing bug, my fingers work that way.
Got you.
So that's what I stuck with.
Got you.
And been doing that since '81, and loving it.
And how did the house music bug hit you?
My first house music song that I ever heard was Marshall Jefferson's House Music Anthem.
Okay.
And I've listened to house music as part of being a DJ. Of course, listening to different musics throughout the years. And most recently, just got really turned off by what I was hearing on the radio, turned off by what people who listen to the radio would ask me to play at parties. And I said, you know what? Yeah, it's time. It's time for me to go house music. It's more of a soulful vibe, I love the Afro vibe. I love the deep house. I love some of the techno stuff. So it's more of a fit for me. There's no lyrics degrading women, no lyrics wanting to off somebody else. So yeah, I mean it fits my spirit a whole lot better than a lot of the more popular forms of music.
Got you. Hey, Antonio, are you with us? And the answer is
How you doing?
yeah. There we go. So yeah. So yeah, Antonio, could you just just give us a little bit of update about you? What's up, Daryl? How you doing, sir? Yeah. So give us a little bit of background about you and how you got to this house thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that, man. I'm out shopping, doing some grocery shopping with my lady, so
Okay.
we had a malfunction. But
No problem. We're good.
yeah, I'm born and raised in Paterson. Started listening to house music at the age of 16. I think me and Tab had a brief conversation with Keisha Smith yesterday. There's a whole big story behind that, but I was in places that I didn't belong at the age of 16. I had a lot of places. I went to a lot of places that I had no business being in, and seeing shit that I had no business seeing at the age of 16. But it was good because, house music gave me an outlet. Especially being born and raised right here in Paterson, where unfortunately we experienced a lot of stuff that there's violence everywhere, but Paterson has this stigma where people don't want to come to. They're like, oh man, they hear about house music in Paterson. It's like, man, where is it at?
Yeah.
Is it a nice area? Is there parking? Am I gonna get robbed and shit? I'll be like, listen, man, just come, man, just come and check it out.
Right.
And I've been a part of house music ever since. I started out dancing. I was a part of a group called Each One Teach One, and I had the pleasure of meeting someone that I learned how to DJ from, a young lady. And I did learn from a woman.
That's good.
I learned from a woman. And I've been DJing now for a little over 15 years. And anywhere that I go, man, I represent Paterson, man. Anytime anybody asks me where you from, I say Paterson. I actually say Pistol Pack in P-Town. But they be like, where's that? I say Paterson.
Okay. So,
man.
Yeah, so Joy, how'd you make your connection to house music, for those who don't know?
I was born into it. So, basically, am born into a house that it was only music and played loudly all day.
I know.
Every day. I'm still not a TV watcher.
Okay.
So that's all I know. And a mix of everything. My grandmother sang opera. She listened to classical music all the time. My grandfather was a jazz man. And then my two uncles played house music all night. For days on end. I don't think they ever slept. So, and then on top of that, my grandmother just, I guess I was just natural at it. Because she started me off at New Jersey Pat from an early age up until freshman, sophomore year of high school, even with dance as well. And I'm still taking classes this day to, I guess sharpen the tool set or whatever, just to keep things sharp and just to add another piece of paper to the wall.
Okay. Right. I really got blessed on my end. I've been, from Paterson, I've been into this house music thing from the door. Like so many others, I had hip hop and R&B in my background. Still listen to hip hop and R&B, but I got blessed because I found out very early that as far as singing and dancing, I had no future in that. So, but I did find out early, which is good. So this way I could do something else. So I kind of took to the music. Speaking of dancing, Antonio is still dancing. Anyway. So listen, let's do this. I want to ask one more question about the house music. Then I want to get to the sort of the main event, which we want to talk about. So just from your different perspectives, where do you see house music going? And then after that, we want to get to the main event, which is about the recent event in Paterson. So let's start with you, Antonio. Where do you see this thing going?
I don't know. I don't know if I could say, where it's going. A lot of people don't even know the hell I am, but it's cool. I like flying under the radar sometimes, When I did the thing in Irvington a couple weeks ago, a lot of people were like, "Oh, where you from?" And how come I never heard you and this and that. So, to quote, "Hey, how you doing?" To quote Little Ray posted up he put up a post on Facebook. He said, I think it was something to the tune of how music is alive and well, whatever, something like that. And it's going. So we just got to keep going. Like, I'm just a fly in the wall. I'm just a fly in the wall right now. This year's been interesting because last year I was like, man, I hope to one day play with these people. And this year I've gotten the opportunity to play with some of those people that were mentioned in my mind,
Right.
So this year's been real interesting. I'm looking forward to next year, and so I don't know if I can say where it's going, but I know it's still here, man. Like
Right. That's for
I think
sure.
Roland Clark has a song that it says something like, "Oh, they thought we were midnight ravers and all this crazy stuff, and we were banned from places, and and nothing could be further from the truth, man.
Right.
So,
yeah. Hey, Joy, where do you see this thing going?
House music will never die. House music runs the world. That rhythm runs the world. In a sense of gospel. Because that's kind of the rhythm. Because it's love music, love always overpowers everything else. And I really do believe that that's only a question that we ask in America. That's an American question.
You mean where's house music going?
Right, because house music runs the rest of the world.
Interesting.
It's only in America
never thought of it that way.
The record, again, it's all about money. And the business, the music we hear on the radio, that's what pays to play that music.
Gotcha.
Doesn't necessarily pay to play our music because they have brainwashed us Americans that this is the sound that you're supposed to listen to. It's this, or this. If you do this in between, just like Antonio was saying, like, we're not ravers and junkies and all of that other else kind of stigma along with it, because just as fast as you say tech EDM, now it's acceptable.
Right.
It's all the same thing. So that it will never die.
Right.
Respectfully so to the LGBTQ. What are the other letters? I don't know.
ABC? I don't know.
Yeah, forgive me.
Okay.
As long as they are around, especially in America, I think it's because of that community in America that keeps it so prevalent. Besides the young kids, us, I guess in that age range. Like, oh, we're gonna listen to this for now. I'll wait till I get to that age, and then I'll do house music. You know? That type of thing. So, yeah, just and that.
Tab, what do you say?
Yes, sir.
And after this, we're going to get to the main event. So, what do you say?
Where do I see it going?
Yeah, what do you see?
It's great. It's great potential. It's great potential.
Okay.
Joy stated the unfortunate reality of house music not being what pays the bills for the radio. So, granted, there's huge hits within the house music community. Rappers have recently taken to using some house music songs, some popular house music songs, as the backdrop for their songs. And I venture to say, anytime the hip hop community takes a liking to something, it becomes more popular. But there's still the question of the money issue.
The money.
There's still the circumstance of, or as Antonio mentioned, the stigma. He mentioned it towards as far as Paterson goes, but there's a stigma in house music as well.
Okay.
You know, because there are so many different subgenres of house music. It's like, okay, now which house music do I like?
Right.
You know, I mean, so there's vast potential for the growth, for the spreading of house music. Just think of it. Excuse me. Just think of it. House music is what, 40 years old now?
Well, I would say, let's see, this is what, I would say 40 plus, because, I'd say 40 plus. Oh yeah, without a doubt.
At least 40, because I heard house music anthem in '86.
Okay, all right. Okay, so
You know?
yeah.
So here we are, and of course, once it's on record, well, you know, we always have a couple or a few years before it actually gets to record.
Right.
You know, so you have that really foundational underground scene that was doing it before it was even on records. It's on reel to reels. It's on cassette tapes. You know, what was Your Love? That was like a cassette tape that got passed around.
Yeah.
You know. So for House Music Anthem to come out in, I believe, '86, we're looking at 40 years plus now.
Right.
It's not going anywhere. It just needs more. It doesn't need more, but it would be fair if it had more popular exposure here in America.
Right.
Like Joy mentioned, you look at house music festivals all across the world, and they're a big thing.
Huge.
Here in America, it's compressed because of the money issue.
Right.
More specifically, money to the radio, the payola issue.
Yeah. Wow. Well, listen, I personally believe house music is going to continue to grow. I believe, although there's issues back and forth, pluses and minuses of it, I think that there's a lot of free events, and because it's free, a lot of people see it that would never have connected with it. Can you do all events for free? Absolutely not. And most of the people that are doing these free events are coming out of Hip National Bank. So, you know, that kind of limits when you don't have budgets. So you can do a Wee Quick Park when you have a budget. But let's say Billy Bob can't do it because Billy Bob is not sitting on the money like that to make that kind of event, to bring in, you know, top players, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I believe as we continue, we will and get exposure to new markets, I believe that it's going to be a big thing. So let's get to the main event. Misa, what's happening? How you doing? Okay, so let's get to the main event. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. As you know, we're all aware that Paterson just had a major house music event in Paterson. And I want to commend them for pulling that off. Others of us who are actually on the Zoom have been trying to get something going for many years. For me, I know I've been at it for 7 years. I had other people call me, and they've been trying to get something going for years. And kudos to the people who actually pulled it off. So, absolutely. So I think from my perspective, it's a launching pad. But now what I want to do is I want to get perspective from house music DJs out of Paterson. And I got to tell you something. Before I start, I'm just going to say this one thing. I really was not going to make a big deal of it, but I got like combination of 7 phone calls, text messages, and asked me, Dan, where are you in this? Are you doing something, whatever. Tab got hit up. Joy got hit up. I don't know if Antonio got hit up, but we collectively got hit up about it. So I just want to get, hey, let's start with Antonio, because Antonio is doing something right now as we speak. What was your take on doing house music in Paterson, which I thought it was a really, really good thing that happened? What's your take from front to back on this?
One thing that you're gonna get from me is, is the honest truth.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna go around in circles. I knew about this event before it even came out through a friend of mine who works for the city, and he had gave them my number, the organizer of this event, and nobody never called. So I don't know. Like I didn't support the event because I felt like it was disrespect to people like us. All 4 of us that are on here right now. Because when I go to other festivals, right? Who's DJing? It's 9 times out of 10, or every time I'm going to say, right, it's someone from that town. I would have felt really good to know that, Joy is on the bill, or Tab is on the bill, or Dan is on the bill, right? And I have much respect for people like Tony Touch, Rich Medina, and the DJs that they had, but where was Paterson? Because the theme was celebrate Paterson and Stadium. So how do you celebrate that without having, a representative from the town that you're?
Okay, you're going in and out. I think the gremlins heard of you. I'm sorry, you had to repeat that. I think the gremlins got to you.
Yeah, I just think that, I forgot what you didn't hear, but
okay, yeah. You said, how do you have an event you don't bring?
How do you have an event that was called Celebrate Paterson and his Stadium, and not, incorporate, local DJs from? I hear there was one DJ called Stunner or something like that. But we're talking about the House Music Fest. Was it a House Music Fest really? I mean, if I give you my take, I don't even think it was a house music fest. There was certain sprinkle of people from the house music scene, from the original underground music scene that I frequently see at these festivals that I attend all the time. Because I think I've been to all of them this year, and even last year, you know. But I don't know. I think that it needs to be done right. Put it that way.
Okay.
Because, yeah, a lot of people that live in Paterson probably don't listen to house music, and that's all right. That's all right, because when I go to other festivals, like you said yesterday, you said, you know, we're everywhere. We're in all, we're like staples in all those festivals, right?
Right.
And, you know, there's house music people here, but if we were to have a festival, 90% of the people that are going to attend that festival, that would attend that festival, won't even be from Paterson.
Got you.
You know, we need to get our own. I will say that. We need to get our own festival. They keep doing their infused house music festival. You know that I don't know what it was, but I was, you know, I was just like, you know what? I was tempted to go over there and pass out flyers for my party, but I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna do that. I was like, it's all right, you know, like I'm real patient, man. Look, it's taking this long. Why I'm gonna wait longer, or however long it takes. But you know, we're gonna make that happen, man, because you know, I think this city, you know, we need to put our little red flag on the map. You know, as like, yo, they have a festival going on too. You know. Right. So you know, that's my take on it.
So, Tab, I mean, really, if I had to say we had a title for this segment, I would call it "What Next," and I hope people don't take what is being said as hating and and bitter, because you know what, we all get. I mean, we're not dependent on this any particular event that happened. We're not dependent on that. But I will say to you, but only after Tab. I want Tab. Tab, can you get some of this and tell me what you felt? I mean, overall about, because you were there from start to finish, how you felt about it. Did you feel the love? And let's say, for example, if there's anything you would like to have added, you know, what's your perspective on it?
Yeah, I got there about, I think 3:30, 3:45-ish, somewhere around there. And one of the things I was looking forward to was the fact that one of the attractions for it was that it was a cheetah tribute.
Okay.
And when, I mean, it was definitely a nice event. First of all, let me say that it was a wonderful event. Adiva and Sybil,
from Paterson,
course, they absolutely tore it up. Excellent, wonderful performances. Those women sound like they still back in the 1980s when they recorded those records. You know, or 80s, 90s when they recorded those records. I mean, so they kudos to them. I would have liked to hear more of the music from that era, the musical style from that era. I also ditto DJ Antonio in the sense that, I mean, you had one DJ there, and Stunner's my guy. You know, so this is, if Stunner hears this, somebody sees this and passes it to Stunner, there's absolutely no hate to Stunner.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not Stunner. I don't think Stunner would call himself a house music DJ. Now, mind you, he plays some house music. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He plays house music. But you know, where was DJ Jazzy, who, you know, I'm a few years behind him. You know, where is DJ Cool Lou? She's an awesome house music DJ. DJs like DJ Holiday, you know, who I've had the pleasure of playing with. I mean, he goes in. DJ Faze, who was one of the DJs that gave me and my partner back in the day our first shot at DJing in public when we were just doing hip hop. There's so many DJs in Paterson that do house music. And Antonio made a good point that, you know, not a lot of people from Paterson will attend the house music event, but that's just like the Cheetahs back in the day. You know, most of the people who went to the Cheetahs weren't from Paterson. You know, they were coming from East Orange and Irvington and Newark, because Paterson got it going on too. You know, and the Cheetah Club had it going on. You know, Gary and his crew there put together an awesome place. Richard Long did the sound system. You know, the Thorins turntables, the Uri mixer. You know, the TIAC tape deck, or reel to reel deck that you can come in and play your exclusive reels if you had some. So it was a beautiful event, but I would have loved to see, even if it wasn't myself, I would have loved to see some other DJs from Paterson who know this house music thing. You know, and I see people from Paterson, and this is just the real. I see people from Paterson at these house music events in other cities that weren't there. You know, I see people that go a half hour, 45 minutes away to go to a house music event, but they might not have been at the Oasis event on Sunday. You know, so it's kind of disheartening, but it just shows that we got to put our best foot forward and continue on this push to make this thing known. You know,
Joy, what do you say?
Tab said it best, really. There's no more really to put to that. He kind of said it all, you know, because I agree absolutely with him. Even just add a little bit more to that, the great Paterson DJs who, for instance, live in North Carolina, South Carolina, they paid to bring these people in. Why couldn't they have brought them in as well? And then I think the amount of money that they had to spend for flagrant drums was a total slap in the face.
Okay. Why do you feel that way?
Because where do they come from?
Columbia.
Okay.
Not South Carolina, Columbia, the country.
They were here. They just so happened to be in town. I don't know how they manufactured that, but they were here already, but they still had to pay them.
Okay.
They still had to pay them. They had, you're right.
There was still a part of that. If you want to believe that part, that they were already here and had nothing to do with that, you can believe that, but I don't.
You still had to pay them.
Exactly. Right. That's why, I don't care
whether
about
they were here already for another event, they were here for another event. but you still have to pay them.
Yes, right.
They're not cheap.
At all.
They're
Right.
not cheap.
At all. So if anything, what they got to skimp out of their plane ticket, whoop-de-doo. Again, they still pay.
Right.
Yeah, Columbia price.
I also got to mention. I got to mention my brother who I've seen come up in this DJ thing, DJ Badala.
I mentioned
North
Cut
Carolina.
too as well, who was here just a week
Absolutely.
before.
Yeah, absolutely. Cut is 40 years in.
And he did an event
Badala.
for Sybil at the Crown Plaza.
Yes.
Right, the day before
And-
our jazz festival at Eastside Park.
Yep.
But to add to
Yep,
that.
absolutely. And Badala, I think this was
40 years.
Badala's 40th
He's
year.
40 deep.
Yep.
'Cause he just was
I
up
mean,
here.
so you got a lot of DJs that come from this town, come from this city. Badala's back and forth, Cuts back and forth. That would have loved to bless the crowd with music. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to say this, especially on Cut's behalf. He did an event in Georgia, and a lot of people from Paterson took planes and buses down to Georgia
Sure
to be a
did.
part of his event.
Yeah.
So I think it's the Georgia meets Atlanta meets Georgia event or something like that. I don't remember the name of the event, but I mean, you had people that would travel hundreds of miles just to even hear Cut play
Right.
and have a good time and fellowship.
Yep.
That's somebody that could have been on the bill for the Paterson House Music
Yep.
event.
Right.
I'm gonna I'm a house music DJ. That's all I like to play.
Gotcha.
I'm not in between. I'm not, I know Cut. I used to play basketball with him. We played basketball for years. School 18 part. We used to play at YMCA. But I don't hurt me. I know him for years. Because these are DJs that play everything. He plays everything: hip hop, R&B, house music.
Right.
When we talk about the house music fest, there can't be no in between. There can't be no in between. There can't be no, unless you have like a remix of a hip hop song, that changes the house music and stuff. But, where were the original DJs from the Cheetah? Did anybody sort them out? If it was a reunion for the Cheetah, did anybody go and maybe reach out to like people like DJ
No, because they should have called
Fresh or DJ
Dan.
Mate or any other those other DJs, right?
Yeah.
To
No.
bring at least one DJ from that time, like Dan said, look, well, I'm not dependent on, I think it was it set the stage. It's definitely because it kind of, as much as I, didn't support it, I gotta look at, all right, well, it's good because at least people know that we are on the track. Like we got a horse on the track now.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
There's
We got a horse on the track, and we making strides, to get something,
Right.
something going.
well, I have a few thoughts, if I can share them with you. Again, I really originally wasn't going to say anything. I knew about it also. But I got multiple calls and text messages, actually 7 altogether. Dan, where are you in this? Soulful House Nation, this and that. And, my attitude has always been You know, when people are spending their time, their energy, and their money, they do what they want to do, and they make their judgment, whatever. You know, so when I say what I'm going to say, I'm just giving you perspective, and I think if some things like this were considered, it would be even. So let's say next year you do something. I think you can add some more icing to the cake, so to speak. So if you let's say, for example, it's not the same thing, but you see the point. But if you go to some of these other places where they do these big house events, you don't do that event unless you got some of the locals. And
Right.
There's cats that do house music from Paterson. So I say to myself,
Absolutely.
well, okay, how much of a search did they do? Maybe they did.
Right.
Maybe they didn't. But if they would just asked around a little bit, your name came up. I actually got a call about it, and then that was the last I heard from him. So it seems like to me that maybe somebody located somewhere else, or somebody who wasn't like heavy into the Paterson house music audience, or if they made some few, they were. But again, you mentioned you got a phone call. I got a phone call. Never heard anything again. Am I upset with them? Absolutely not. That's their show. They do what they want. But I do think that, you know, it's kind of like having, and you know, I wasn't going to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's kind of like having a Turkish Day parade and no Turks, if you follow me. You know, now listen, not to take away anything from what they did, and that really isn't the point. I'm only hoping that if they hear this, that they go a little bit deeper. But then again, they might say, you know what? I thought about it. We don't need these guys. That's good too. We got a diva and we got Sybil from Paterson. But there's bona fide house music DJs out here from Paterson. So I think, I don't want to say they dropped the ball. I think, in my opinion, I think I would like to him take a little closer look at that. You know, some people felt disrespected for me, and I'm like, no, I don't feel disrespected. Again, that's their time, their energy, their money. They put who they want to put on. And one day when we do something, we're gonna put on who we think is right, and there's gonna be somebody who's gonna have an opinion about it, one way or the other. But I think that, again, I think they missed some opportunities because if you would have had, I mean, like bona fide, and I don't know Stun, I never met him. If I tripped over him, I wouldn't know him, so that's not really the point. But there's guys that, and no reference to men or women, but there's people that's what they do. And I think that maybe going forward, if this gets to them, I think maybe they should take a look at that. Also, too, we know the music at a different level. So, for example, I'm going to give you an example. So, and I'm not going to name the DJ, but I'm just going to tell you that on Saturday, when I saw that, there were several DJs who were dialed in like they were like laser focused to play our style, because Jersey's known as having a style of music. Laser focused, locked in. And then there was someone else, and I'm talking about what I heard, that played good music, but you could tell they weren't from here by the song. Now, that doesn't mean that was bad. They did a good job. But I mean, I'm just saying that we really are locked in to the music. We're locked in to, even if it's not the most popular songs, but we're locked into the stuff that they would listen to that would flow with what we're doing. That's my opinion. I think it was a great event. If you come back to the drawing tape, because I think you always have to do a wrap-up session. And then if they do the wrap-up session, I think maybe they want to get a little bit more intense with local, straight up Paterson house music DJs.
Mhm.
What do you guys say?
You know, and I have no problem with them or with anyone
Mhm.
calling in a bigger name as the finale, as the draw of the
Mhm.
finale.
Mhm.
You know, I never have a problem with that.
Mhm.
It's just the matter of showcasing some local talent.
Right.
You know,
Do you
showcasing some local guys,
do you
girls.
do you know? And I'm not saying the same thing, but you see the point. If you bring a business, for example, into any city, one of the questions they're going to ask you, are you hiring any local people?
Absolutely,
They're going to ask you that.
absolutely.
And if you are,
Mhm.
you'll probably get more support than if you
Mhm.
say, hey, listen, we're not going to create opportunities for local people. Now, that doesn't
Mhm.
mean that they should or they have to. I'm just saying, you know, I wish going forward they would consider that. That's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I got a few right there at the event.
Mhm.
I got quite a few people asking me, "Hey, you going on later?"
Mhm.
No. Like, why not? Why you not playing today?
Mhm.
Right,
No, I never got a phone. I never got a phone call.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
right, right.
I got
I
asked
don't
that
care about
over
it.
10,
You know.
about 10 different people that night.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
people that have CDs, people that have flash drives of mine.
Mm.
You know, hey, you playing today?
Mm-hmm.
Never got a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Heck,
Well-
Sybil asked me if I was playing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we definitely have a sound that's authentic because I mean, from my experience, right? Like, we just came back from Washington, right? We were in Washington not, about a week ago, not even a week ago. We were in Washington. We went for the Cap Fest down there, the Capitol Fest in Maryland
got you.
with Chris Randolph, and they had line. They had Kelly Kell. They had
Okay.
they had a bunch of other DJs down there. But when just the DJ got on,
Uh-huh.
right,
Uh-huh.
it was like, you know. And then when we went to Chicago, right, we went to the Chosen Few picnic, right. It was bananas, right.
Mm-hmm.
They had a whole lineup over there. You know, everybody got on. Terry Hunter, you know, Alan King, all them other guys, right? But when Jihad Muhammad went on, you know, it was like you know, there's space on the floor when all these other DJs are playing. But when Jihad Muhammad or when just the DJ went on, there's no space on the floor.
Hey,
Nope.
listen.
Everybody comes out from where they're at, they're eating or sitting down, everybody gets up. You know, the same thing when I had the pleasure of going to Winter Music Conference for like 7 years in a row now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every time a Jersey DJ is playing somewhere in these hotels, because it's like, it's just a whole weekend of nonstop house music every day, all day.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you want to lose calories, go to the Winter Music Conference, and you will come back at least 20 pounds lighter. Because, you know, it's like a marathon, man. And once you get the paper that tells you where everybody's gonna be at, and you start circling what you want to go, who you want to go hear, who you've never heard, and then you just start going, man. It's like you get, by the time you hit your hotel, man, your feet are swollen, and in the morning they still swollen.
Right.
But you still, you know, your heart is telling you, man, I want to go listen to this dude, you know, and you can't help it. You still go to the next party with some swollen feet. You manage to get your dance on, and
Well, that's
like we wherever we go, right? Our sound is authentic.
Right. Right. We have a sound, like I say, you know. So I'm thinking here, R. Kelly, your mind telling you yes, but your body, your buddy telling you, anyway. Yeah, but hey, but listen to this. If you, again, as far as it goes, so now we've had this conversation about what we consider like some input. See, the real question becomes, okay, so now that you said what you said, now what do we do? You see, now, see, it's kind of, it's easy to sit in the armchair, be a Monday morning armchair quarterback. It's easy to say, I watched that game between Los Angeles and Detroit, and if they would have just done this, and you could see it back when you watched the things. So, but the question is, okay, so what do we do? So right now, Antonio has a monthly event going on at the rooftop. Do we support him? Can we get Paterson people to come out? Can we get Essex County people to come out? Because we go to their events.
All the time.
All the time. Now, unfortunately, hey, we don't have the big budget like you would have like at a Weequahic Park, which I just attended. That was a fantastic event. But we can't, they just, when they had the Lincoln Park thing, I mean, we have budgets like that. We had the, and then too, Ras Baraka did what they did in See, in Paterson, I'm going to suggest to you that maybe the officials don't believe the people who control the purse strings. Because, for the most part, we're running these things out of Hip National Bank. And we don't have big budgets to run the promo, to bring in, we don't have budgets like that. But we do provide a service that's dope, to come out and have a good time and sweat. But,
And I think it's important to say, Dan, that just like any other house music event or community, there's never any violence. There's never anything for people to actually be worried about their physical safety. Nothing for people to have to worry about the safety of their vehicles while they're in town. We've never had any experiences that would say anything other than that.
Yeah.
Even when Steve Goods and I were doing the happy hour house party at the Masonic, never any issues. Never.
Yeah.
Wonderful events.
Yeah. Well, again, I think after all the conversation, it's kind of what do we do next? And I think that's how we really need to end this conversation. With, hey, I think I say in the beginning, right now, we need to support Antonio, who is making it happen. It's a beautiful place. It's blood, sweat, and tears, what it is, I hear. We got a couple events coming up. One is solid, September 28th. It's a voter registration thing. And we're going to be playing there. That's September 28th. And you should already see flyers. I don't know if you saw them yet, but you should see that. We have another date that it's tentative, and we're trying to get an answer today, one way or the other. But the other thing, too, that this did is that it showed very clearly to the officials in Paterson that, wait a minute, when you're putting your budgets together for recreation or whatever you're doing, you need to look at house music. First of all, it showed that people were checking for it, number one. And guess what? House music people vote.
Can I say this, Dan?
Go ahead.
Let me add this in there as well. Isha, Linda, and I went to the block party that C-Phase did the sound system for. It's also in celebration of Mary's birthday. And some of the same people we saw on Saturday in Irvington, we saw on Sunday in Paterson. So it's obvious they're even willing to travel to Paterson to hear some house music. We just have to provide the forum. And we know the style of house music that they love as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know.
And there were a few people the very next day at Ricky Clark's event.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the same people that I saw at the Falls.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
So it's a universal thing. Again, I think the real question we have to say, what's next? I think certainly we need to support the events that are going on, but the other thing too, we need to get at the officials and get at people with purse strings. You know, I mean, well, I know you guys are independently wealthy, but why are you guys laughing? Anyway, you guys are independently wealthy, but let's say average Joe. You know, I say come up off some of that money, you know, put 20 G's up and do an event like that. You know, when you consider the stage, the sound system, the artists, and you consider the equipment, all that, huh?
Look, you talk about hip national band.